8 years after storm, $872 million in Katrina money unspent in Mississippi, U.S. News. MSN. Outlook. More autos. My MSN. Video. Careers and jobs. Personals. Weather. Dealish. Quotes. White pages. Games. Real estate. Wonderwall. Horoscopes. Shopping. Yellow pages. Local edition. Traffic. Feedback. Maps and directions. Travel. Full MSN index. Bing. NBEnews.com. Today. Nightly news. Meet the press. Dateline. MSNBC. Breaking news. Newsbeam. Home. U.S. World. Politics. Business. Sports. Entertainment. Health. Tech. Science. Travel. Local. Weather. Advertise vertical line ad choices. Recommended, 30-foot surge of water, mud, rocks dissipates before hitting Boulder, Colorado. Recommended, newlywed accused of pushing husband off cliff is freed ahead of trial. Recommended, 4 people found slain in car near quiet Tennessee community. Recommended, suspects in murder of Spokane World War II vet Delbert Bell to plead not guilty. Heater.top_heater background image. URL http://cdn.lib.newsbeam.com/chrome/s/news-franchise/header.jpg $10,529 footer.links background image. URL http://cdn.lib.newsbeam.com/chrome/s/news-franchise/images/footer.jpg. NBC News reporters bring you compelling stories from across the nation. For more U.S. news, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. About this blog archives email updates, follow on Twitter, subscribe to RSS. 233 comments. Print. 19 hours ago. 8 years after storm, $872 million in Katrina money unspent in Mississippi. AP. This image provided by NOAA of the port at Gulfport, Mississippi, showing the destruction in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina Wednesday, August 31, 2005. By Jeff Hamey, The Associated Press. Jackson, Miss. 8 years after Hurricane Katrina slammed the Gulf Coast, Mississippi still hasn't spent almost $1 billion in federal money dedicated to recovery from the storm. The remaining $872 million is part of $5.5 billion Congress gave the state to rebound from Katrina, which struck in August 2005, killed 238 people in Mississippi and caused tens of billions of dollars in damage, most heavily in coastal counties. More than half of the unspent money is tied up in the hotly debated plan to expand the state-owned port of Gulfport, and millions more are advocated for projects that have yet to materialize. Critics also complain that some projects are far from the Katrina strike zone and don't seem to have a direct connection to recovery from the hurricane, while others have failed to take root or are not meeting promises of creating jobs. Advertise vertical line ad choices. One of the projects at parking garage in Starkville near the Mississippi State University football stadium is more than 200 miles from Katrina's landfall. Ashley Edwards, director of the state's Office of Recovery, said the pace of spending has been partly due to difficulty satisfying federal requirements. Some funding wasn't released to the state until recently, Edwards said, but state officials said they plan to complete most work within the next 2 years. The money from the Department of Housing and Urban Development must be directed toward projects that meet certain criteria. For example, companies or government entities getting economic development money must agree to create certain numbers of jobs, with at least half of them to be offered to low or moderate income people. But Riley Morse, a lawyer for the Mississippi Center for Justice who has fought the state's spending priorities, questioned why Mississippi hasn't been able to find uses for all of the money. For a state that's got economic development challenges, a state that's got a difficult unemployment rate, it's surprising, he said. The decision to allot more than half of the HUD money to job creation was made by former Gov. Haley Barbour, who was in office when Katrina struck. The state could reallocate money with HUD's approval, but has resisted changes. Neighboring Louisiana budgeted less than 3% of its money for economic development, spending almost all of it on housing and infrastructure. As of March 31, Louisiana had spent about 91% of the $10.